All right, so we're going to do a quick test on this CM551 here, this one right here. Let me put on the screen the symptoms it's having. All right, so here we see the gas gauge is inoperative. Now, this is an external module. This is controlled by the instrument cluster and the um, fuel control module and the PCM. So the fuel control module actually sends the signal to the PCM, which is bolted on the firewall. It's a little bit different than the ECU. It's a different module. Um, so we can see here in the service manual, fuel gauge is controlled by the instrument cluster circuit, and that gets its message from the power control module through the CCD bus. Okay, and if we go here for the schematics on it, let me see if I can find it quickly. It's kind of in the bottom part of it. Maybe this one. Okay, so we're just going to scroll here till I can find the fuel tank module. Okay, here's this. And here is the fuel level sensor signal. And we can see it's coming from the powertrain control module. It goes into basically what is a potentiometer here. And it actually is there's no 5-volt reference for this one. This one actually just uses its own signal line from the PCM, and it's grounded. So that is definitely an external issue there. So I have that as external. Next, we are going to investigate the no 5-volt references coming out. Okay, so I'm going to pull up this screen again, and on my little tester, I know it's a little bit blurry here, but on my little tester, we have 5-volt supply right here. This is the K6 circuit. This ECU actually has two 5-volt references coming out. It has the K6 5-volt supply, and it has the K7 5-volt supply, and that's just the different circuits from it. But anyway, I'm going to power this on. Okay, this is just simulating a bunch of the controls, but it's easy for me to test the 5-volt with this. If we look over here, this will be the voltage reader. You'll see it should say 5 volts as long as everything is okay. And this is just my power supply here. This is the power going to the ECU. You really don't need to worry about this one right now. Just this top one is where we want to see 5 volts, okay? So I'm going to go here to the 5-volt supply coming for K6. This is the circuit for K6. Okay, and we do have a pretty accurate 5 volts. It's usually they're 5.1 or 4.9. This one is dead on the money at 5 volts. So now let's check this 5 volt K7 circuit. And it's the same thing, which makes sense. These both come from the same source inside the computer. They're basically just different pins coming out, but uh, you know, sourcefully they're coming from the exact same thing. Okay, so that is fine. Let's go back to this. Good. Next, let's test these three. So it says engine temperature is in op, MAF sensor is in op, and there's no oil pressure sensor. Let's go back to this, and we're going to use the Autel here. I'm going to connect into the system. This is the codes that are active, which is fine because these actually might not be active. This says active, but these may actually be history codes because of the way the memory works on this ECU. It's not able to tell you if they're active or history codes. They just all say active. Okay, so these are the active codes right now, and this is normal because I don't have the injector pump module hooked up since none of our issues are related to that. And also the water and fuel sensor voltage too low. That's because the potentiometer in my tester here is it's extremely finicky. It's a really high one. I put the wrong one in there. I just never bothered changing it. So ignore that one. Transfer pump circuit out of range. That's normal as well because I'm not using a relay. That's the computer is trying to sense a certain amount of resistance for the relay, and I don't have that. I just have an indicator light for it. So that code is ignorable as well. But the main thing we want to do is go into the live data here. And we want to check the oil pressure sensor, the engine coolant, and the map sensor. Okay, so we're going to find them here. Now the map sensor is actually, it's called boost in this. So I'm going to pull up, I'm going to click those, the boost ones. And here is our engine coolant. And what was the other one? Oil pressure, that's right. I'm going to pull up the oil pressure. Okay, so these are the three symptoms we were having. Currently, we can see that they all have readings. So the boost voltage is reading at 1.5. No, I'm sorry, 1.15 volts. The engine coolant is reading at 1.7 volts, and the oil pressure is just under a volt. Now I am going to adjust the oil pressure sensor voltage, and we should see it go up. So we should see the voltage go up and also the sensor reading go up. Okay, so I'm turning it on up, and it did work just like it's supposed to. So now it is seeing quite a bit of voltage, so I'm going to turn that back down. Oil pressure sensor is good. Let's check the engine coolant, which is going to be this one. I'm going to adjust it up. Okay, it is up, no problem. Going to adjust it back down. And it's back down, no problem. Now we will do the map sensor, and we should see the same thing. We should see the voltage go up. It did. Now we're going to turn it back down. And it did. So there is no issues there. They are all good. Now if we go back, is anything else? Nope. Okay. Now I will remind you that this is after I did my rebuild on it. So it's possible that I fixed the problems and um, that's why we're not seeing it. So hopefully everything is good when you put it back in the truck. But if you do continue to have issues, you can rule this unit out. It's good, as you can see from the video here. There's no issues with the problems that you're having. Uh, but yeah, there you go. I'm going to get it sealed up with silicone adhesive, let it dry, and it should be shipping Monday morning. It's Saturday night, so Monday morning's the earliest I'll be able to get it out. But if you have any questions, just let me know.